So the Tectone situation may have genuinely gotten worse, as it seems he has already violated his protective order by leaking court documents that literally nobody else has on a burner account in his own Discord, which could lead to him going to jail for up to 2 to 10 years and a $10,000 fine, at least in Texas. Now, this information is coming from Shamu YouTube. Very great channel. You guys should definitely check it out. He's been covering a lot of the Tectone situation, basically saying, breaking, Tectone violated his 10-year protective order against his victim in under 48 hours. Tectone and a burner leaked a non-public filing that you cannot access without a direct link to his Discord. The burner never posted prior in 5+ years and uses the exact same language that Tectone does. And here we have a picture of Wooden Badger, who is a member of Tectone's Discord, posting this Odyssey web link, which is the Travis County Public Records registry, right? And so here's the link to how you can get these documents. People have since shared these online. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be covering them or talking about them because it does end up doxing things about Tectone and things about Pinkchyu, like her name and where they live and whatnot, and I'm not really comfortable sharing that because it's not public information. This is the court case. It's just a protective order case. Mizkif is making a big ol' stink out of a big ol' nothing burger. It's important to note out the ol, right? Not a lot of people say ol, right? Like that's like something like a 60-year-old grandma or grandpa would say like, oh. This is Tectone back on July 24th saying, welcome back to the ol grind. Time to fix the community that was destroyed in my absence. Yeah, I miss y'all too. Here he is on January 24th. The support of my streams has been insane today, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's important to acknowledge that you're in the good old days, they become the blank. And so he ended up searching up Tectone's account, typing in ol, and finding all these different instances of him saying ol. Again, not a very common phrase. So what is the, chance that Tectone would be saying ol? And then you have this burner account that literally wasn't active in this Discord for months. And all of a sudden, now that there's this public information to leak and post online, they're also posting something saying ol. And it happens to be a link that only someone like either Tectone, Pinkchyu, or the lawyers involved in this situation would have a link to. For example, here's the case that ended up being posted onto this Discord. As you can see, the case number says C-1-CV-25-005339. Now, if you yourself try to go onto the Travis County Odyssey portal and type that exact number in, it won't give you any results because it's not public yet. No cases match your search. You basically need a link that has something embedded into it that gives you access. It's kind of like a key, right? If someone shares a file with you on like Google Drive, it's going to have a key that gives you access. Not anyone that clicks on that link without the key part added will be able to view the files. So basically, whoever shared this link, whoever this person is behind the Wooden Badger account, has to be in contact with Tectone, and possibly could be Tectone. Shamu also adds, if found guilty, Tectone could be charged with contempt of court, stalking, and a 3rd-degree felony for violating the order. This could land Tectone anywhere between 2 to 10 years in jail and a $10,000 fine. It's not looking good for Tectone. And here's a Google snippet of it. In Texas, violating a protective order is generally a Class A misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in county jail and a $4,000 fine. It elevates to a 3rd-degree felony if the offender has 2 or more prior convictions or commits assault or stalking during this violation. Now again, we ended up covering how the judge essentially told Tectone to delete anything related to Pinkchyu. Do not talk about Pinkchyu. Do not post about Pinkchyu, which is why a lot of people think that Tectone has been basically off of the internet, has not been streaming, because he cannot keep his mouth shut very well.
Tectone went to court. And Tectone had a restraining order on him for the past few months. That's why Tectone wasn't streaming. Not because he was clearing his mind, because Tectone wasn't streaming because he had a fucking restraining order, okay? This restraining order that Tectone had, it was a few months ago, okay? He had a court today. And in court, Tectone was tried for sexual assault. Tectone, with his 5 lawyers,
they didn't go well.
Lost. Tectone has a protective order from Pinkchyu. For the next 10 years, Tectone can't own guns.
And I feel like going onto a burner account that trying to pretend it's not you, and then leaking private documents related to your court hearing is not a smart idea. And probably if the law gets involved, they will easily be able to look into the link that you shared and see if there's any type of information to link it back to Tectone if it was him that shared it. Now, I'm not sure if you guys ever noticed, if you're on a website and you share something specifically like Twitter or a social media site, when you share the link, the very end of it will have like a share number. This is a very unique URL right here. There's something in this information that will make it so this can be tracked back to me somehow, whether that tracks back to my channel. If you've ever gotten a friend who sent you like a TikTok, you click on their link and it'll say like, oh, this user is sending you this video. Do you want to follow them? That's because the URL that they sent you specifically has a unique identifier, which can easily be added to a court documents, which makes Tectone probably one of the dumbest people alive, if of course this was him that shared this. Shamu also adds, to be concise, there is no way to access this filing unless you are Tectone, Pinkchyu, or the lawyers. I've tried and you can't, but he posted to his own Discord while seething about Mizkif's coverage about the protection order decision. Here's full proof that document wasn't public, meaning it had to be leaked by Tectone. The only ones with access were Tectone, his lawyers, Pink, and her lawyers. The only person who would leak it would be Tectone. Now, I don't really want to jump to that conclusion, but you know, we're not rocket scientists here, right? If one thing adds to another thing, we get a pretty interesting result, right? It seems very possible that Tectone could leak this to make it seem like, hey, it's not that bad, right? Mizkif has blown this whole thing out of proportion, right? Here's the real thing. But of course, Tectone can't do that. So why not hop onto a burner account or message it to someone who can do it for you, which if this isn't Tectone's burner account and it's like someone really close to him, I wonder if there's also a sort of like stalking element there, right? Like it's, if someone tells me I can't talk to someone, it's like, oh, well, you didn't tell me I can't tell Billy Bob over here to go talk to somebody, because it's kind of like you're still in that area of like stalking. You're still in direct contact with someone you're intending to also go and now talk to or harass this person to an extent. Now, here's an example of what happens if you end up finding information on someone, right? I'm probably going to have to censor this because it is going to show other people unrelated, but this is public information that Tectone's name is John Robertson. You'll type that in, you'll click some traffic lights, you'll go to Carl's Jr., right? And you'll press submit. It's going to bring up any case related to someone named John Robertson. Again, I'm going to censor this because there's a whole lot of different ones, and I don't know exactly which one's related to Tectone or not, but it should pop up this same way if you were to type in the case number of the one that we were just looking at, which is of course the one with Tectone and Pinkchyu. Now again, this led to essentially people downloading these documents. Again, private documents that were not meant to be public yet, that were only meant to be shared by Tectone, Pinkchyu, or the lawyers. I also downloaded them because, of course, at this point, someone made them public for anyone to download, which, out of respect, I'm not going to post. I don't even know if I can because, again, it does include private information about those involved, like their addresses and names, which I'm not comfortable sharing. If it does end up becoming public information, I can look into it and still, out of respect, like censor the names and addresses. But yeah, they ended up dropping about 24 pages of the court filings, which pretty much backed up, again, a lot of the things that Mizkif said, a lot of the claims that Pinkchyu said, the allegations of, you know, SA and some pretty brutal things that happened with her and Tectone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you guys think about this silly little update. Again, go show some love to Shamu. This video would not be possible. A lot of the research and whatnot to look into Tectone would not be possible without him, because I had no idea who this bald goober was before, you know, looking into a lot of this nonsense happening. Thank you guys, and peace out.